phone, just a moment.
No.
I think, did I see Phyllis? Phyllis, you're on? Yeah, your mic is not on. Well, I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Who's on the cell phone? Right.
Anyway, I can't see you. Joe? You're here. Good. Geraldine? And Brendan? I see Brendan. All right, we're all here. With that, I wanted to introduce to you our new general managers. He's introduced himself a couple of times to you, but
Hello, everyone.
been he's been here really about 2 weeks. And he came to KW from Southern California. We won't hold that against him. Well, welcome to Florida.
Thank you.
And it's been a very good relationship so far, and I think he's picked up things very quickly, and I think he's going to be very effective and a good general manager.
Thank you.
We got a few other things that we need to take care of as far as order of business. We've established a quorum. You have proof of notice of the meeting, so that's been approved. We have an approval of minutes for August 11 of 2022 for that Board of Directors meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If none, is there a motion to pass? And is there a second? Everybody left. Hey, Joe. There he is. Joe, will you second the motion for approval of the minutes? Are you, Joe, will you second the motion for approval of the minutes?
To say it again, yeah, this is my.
Can you hear me, Joe? All right, we're gonna go on and we will come back to that at some point. Matt?
But before we continue, I just want to make sure that everyone is not recording. There's no permission at this time to record the meeting. So if you are recording the meeting, you do not have permission to do so. It's just standard practice in the industry that you have to get approval from the board and also the people in attendance. So just want to make that true. Go ahead.
All right. Next we have the treasurer's report. Geraldine?
Yes, we have the treasurer's report from July 31st, 2022. We are in good shape all the way through. At the present time, we've had a current income of $20,592 retained earnings, right? And I just wanted to say, I went through all of the individual categories, right? And each one of them was really on track this year with where we should be.
Joe, I can hear you now.
The video camera up on the top left corner.
Hey Joe, how are you?
Very good, David.
I'm doing okay, thank you.
I'm doing that the much
You know, it's, I saw a bunch of people for a while, and then all of a sudden it went out, and I heard a bunch of noise, so I'm not
Do
sure.
we have a camera on?
Well, it shows you that it's a video, that's not audio file.
Can you hear me, Joe?
There's 29321
Joe?
0563 is audio is
Joe, can you hear me?
non-encrypted.
This isn't any better than it was at Friday.
Hey Joe, did you hear us? Could you?
Phyllis, you could hear me before. They will turn it on. Somebody will turn it on. So the lights on. I don't know what happened. Phyllis.
I can hear you down there now.
You can hear us, Joe?
I can hear you, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. First of all, Joe, I need to have a second for approval of the minutes.
I'll second the
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
motion. Aye.
Motion's passed. All right, we're in the middle of the treasurer's report at the present time.
Okay, so I just got to the point of saying that this year with the budget, we're right on track in amongst each of the categories that we have, right? So the contracts are right on track for this month. Hi, Phyllis. They're not, right?
So just to make it, just to remind everybody, there's no recording. I do see someone recording over here. You do not have permission from the association.
With all due respects, when I was in elementary school, I would ask permission to go to the bathroom. I am not in elementary school.
I understand that, but you do not have permission to record by anyone in this audience or the board of directors.
I'm recording. Let them call the police or whatever.
Okay, we can do this way, or we can adjourn the meeting and we can reschedule.
You can do whatever you please. I'm recording.
Well, stop recording, we asked you not to.
Say that again?
He has the right to.
I'm saying don't record me.
Okay.
You don't have the right to do that unless I give you permission, and I don't.
Well, I'm not waiting for your permission or anyone else's here permission. I'm recording.
Just move on to the next topic here. We did our agreement. Anybody on that screen?
Because he has the plan.
I was gonna give you permission
Hold on,
to record the. Okay. And we will deal with it.
Okay, so the board has given you permission to film the board, but you do not have permission to film the homeowners. So,
Fair.
and it's only this one time until we figure out what the attorney is gonna advise us.
Sure. I've been attacked by attorneys many times here with this board.
We're gonna continue the meeting.
Yeah, and I just wanted to raise this point about the recording because your legal counsel, Todd Allen, we had this years ago when I was on the board, and he said there's no legal prohibiting of recording.
Okay.
So, that's your counsel.
We'll evaluate that.
Mr.
Well, the issue is what you do with the recording afterwards. And so if it shows up on public media, then I don't,
I appreciate everyone. We're gonna continue the meeting at the board's, in this open forum, you guys can have your opinions.
We'll deal with it after, okay?
Victor?
Yes.
I think he has a right. As long as his history is not interfering with electronics, that may be where the interference is coming from. So I would suggest, I would move to let whoever that is, record the meeting.
Joe, I've given him permission to record the meeting, not the, people who are attending the meeting, and we'll settle this and, know what we're gonna allow for the next meeting.
Yeah, okay.
All
Can
right.
we turn this up, cause I can't hear them.
So,
Joe, would you say something so I can test the volume?
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, we're up to the manager's report. Matt, I'm gonna turn over a great deal of the rest of the meeting to you. Go ahead.
thank you. And I will give my management report as well. So on page 114 is the management report for the board to review or follow along with me. It also does talk about the financials that you just presented on as part of the management report, and then I'll go over the operations as well. So the management team did have a weekly staff meeting with the current maintenance and housekeepers to go over the property and give me information on what they currently do and what my expectations of them are. So that was part of the first 2 weeks. I've been attending the weekly meetings with KW and also with the board of director, or one of the board members and one other, to just keep them up to date on the information that's available. And we did do, we had several air conditioners replaced throughout some of the buildings, as you may know. Hopefully, if you experience any discomfort, or some owners are advising us it's too cold, just continue to do that, because we're continuing to adjust as needed. Thank you. We also did a landscape walk with the landscapers, Nature's Blueprint. They have done an amazing job, and they have a lot more to do. And myself and Victor's meeting with them, and then I'm going to continue meeting with them on a weekly basis.
One of them cannot hear, if you could use the mic.
Hopefully everybody can hear me now. So just to repeat that the landscape meeting is on every Friday, and managers do that to make sure the property's looking good at all times. And if there's any items that need to be addressed with landscape, let us know and we'll take care of that. KW has begun the budget process, and we will be giving that over to the board, and then obviously providing that to the owners to review as well. Upcoming meetings, we have that today's meeting. And we are currently looking at the pool hours with the county. We do need permission from the county to do that because of the lighting, which we'll go over here in a minute. And then we're looking at water shutoffs throughout all the buildings. So you'll receive a notice that they will need to enter the property to your unit to make sure that the shutoff valves are working in order. In case we have an issue, they can get in and turn it off if you're not there. Also, management is working with the board of directors on the Robert Rules of Order. It's been the industry practice in my long time of doing this that it's the best in the best interest of the association to make sure the rules are followed for the meeting to allow a timely and efficient meeting as well. So that's pretty much it for the management report. Does the board have any questions?
I wanted to go back and reiterate a couple of these points. I've had a number of people that asked, especially in the winter months, when the pool hours right now are actually a half hour before dusk, which lands up at 4:30, 5 o'clock. There are ways that we can change that. So far, we're not sure if we even have to add any lighting, but we're looking at extending those hours to 8 o'clock. I don't know what resistance to that might be, but if there is, or if you know of someone who might voice resistance, please let the board or the management, general manager know, because I think it would be helpful if people were able to extend the swimming until 8 o'clock in the evening.
Just wanted to ask a question on that, just for legal
Yeah.
reasons. Department of Health regulates the rules basically.
Yes,
Is there something there that you allow the proper lighting to extend the hours?
yes, that's what we have to do. We have to gain the Lee County Health to approve that. And really the process is to measure our lighting around the pool. If it's adequate, they'll approve it. If it's not, we either have to change the lighting or not go any further.
Victor, is this something that you should maybe run past those residents whose units face the pool? Because if there's noise and stuff, you know, those people may not be happy with the idea that people are making a significant amount of noise as we go into the evening.
We
Is that a survey
intend
that should be done?
we intend to publicize what we're intending to do through emails so that all of the residents are made aware of what the situation is.
All right, well, I would suggest that in addition to notifying these folks, you maybe give them an avenue to voice their concerns. They're the ones who are primarily gonna be impacted by it.
All right, so noted.
Thank you, and I'm just gonna remind everyone that the open forum at the end of the meeting is when you can bring up these items. I appreciate the very valid feedback. I just wanna keep things on track, but also remind everybody of the open forum.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
The next, yeah, so that's it for my manager report. You touched on that. What I actually want to do, because in inventor of time, is, if the board is okay with it, is let Dawn from Assured Partners discuss the insurance, and then we can come back to some of these items on the agenda.
That's good. I certainly would want to do that, and some background to that. I think some of the most times that have been the worst in the last 6 months is when we have water leaks that affect even more, and always it affects more than one unit. And there's always questions, there certainly are in my mind, as to who's responsible for what. And Florida law gets involved in this to some extent, and there was enough of questions of it that we felt it appropriate to have a representative from the insurance company for the association. That's who these people are. And they were going to speak to some of the issues that are involved in some of these cases when they come.
Now, did you want Doug to address first the association side? Because I'm on the unit owner side, so.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, if that's okay. Can you all hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. Again, sorry I couldn't be there in person. I had a prearranged meeting in Orlando, which I postponed until 7 o'clock from 6 o'clock. But thanks again for allowing me to join via Zoom, and thanks for the opportunity to work for the association. As Dawn mentioned, Doug Shipp, I handle the association insurance program and have for several years. And, fortunately, I think it was Nick that said Florida statute provides guidance on who is responsible for what. And that guidance also supersedes what the association declarations might state. So for example, there was a major change in 2004 that mandated that the association insure that class, which was original or like-kind similar replacement. Subsequently, there was another major change circa 2009 that required that the association insure the air conditioning system, the unit owner air conditioning system, for a casualty event. So if a lightning strike hits the compressor for the unit, then that is the association insurance responsibility. The insurance pays excess of the deductible, and the association pays the deductible itself. So in a nutshell, and Dawn will add to this, Dawn does personal insurance, and I do what we call commercial, residential, or community association insurance. When it comes to who's responsible for what by statute, essentially what's on the wall, floor, or ceiling belongs to the unit owner. So if it's paint, or wallpaper, or light fixtures, or blinds, or cabinets, or countertops, or carpet, or tile, or hardwood, essentially the association responsibility is the bare drywall out. When I say bare drywall, the association's obligation, if the drywall is damaged, is to rip the drywall out, reinstall the drywall, tape it, mud it, sand it, and walk away. Finishing the drywall, meaning finishing it with paint or wallpaper, is the unit owner responsibility. So this is all based on statute in the state of Florida. The Condominium Association Statute 718.113, I think something like that, that dictates who is responsible for what. So if there is, for example, and we have had a few this year, water leak, the association typically is going to take the lead to stop the water leak and to remediate what damage exists so that it can continue. When that bill comes in for the remediation, if there was carpet that benefited from drying out and also drywall that benefited from drying out, typically the restoration company is going to apportion that bill between the unit owner and the association. I say typically. Now, it's not an exact science. I mean, they'll do kind of a gut check, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, something like that. But both parties benefit. Both parties notify their insurance company or insurance agent, and their insurance company then would address. Now, as far as my experience with Patrick, more recently with Matthew, but more so with Patrick over the years, if an incident occurred, Patrick would call me, and we would do a gut check, what we thought the damage from an association perspective might be, because our deductible is $5,000. If the damage wasn't going to meet the deductible, then we weren't going to tell the insurance company, because even if you tell an insurance company and nothing is paid, it's a black mark on our record. So we want to keep those insignificant, below deductible black marks off our record if we can. But if we know from the outset, it's going to be a $15,000, $20,000 claim, we're going to get the insurance company involved right away. Sometimes, it might hover around 5, 6, 7, 8,000, and what we'll discuss is, hey, let's get all the bills in, document everything, and then make a decision if we're going to report a claim to the insurance company. Because if our deductible is say $5,000 and our damage is $5,500, we may not want to report a claim to be compensated $500. So it's a discussion that Matthew and I would have from the outset. So that's just a kind of a brief overview, and I'll let Dawn go into some more detail as far as, and there's a few more comments I want to make after Dawn does some detail there too.
So basically, yes, like he said, the unit owner is responsible to insure from the wall coverings in. So it could be paint, wallpaper, flooring, cabinetry, countertops, plumbing and light fixtures, and then any of their personal property. So if there was a water leak from like the unit above that came down into several units, each unit owner would file their own claim for their own insurer for the damages that they incurred. So, and then whatever deductible you have or dry out or anything like that, the unit owner would be responsible for their portion, and the association would be responsible for like Doug said, from the drywall out. And then of course any common areas like the concrete in between and so forth.
What if the unit owner does not have insurance?
Then it's on them. If they don't have insurance, then they're responsible for their own damages.
What if they refuse to pay?
That would be more of a legal matter, I would say.
The person who caused the problem to the person down below does not have insurance. How do we require residents to have insurance?
Apparently not. Do you?
Our documents require that
So
people.
here's what I would say about that. So first off, some folks call Florida a no-fault state. So the statute says essentially each party takes care of its own unless one can prove negligence against another party. So negligence might be, you turn the tub on, you decide to go shopping and go to dinner, and you come back and there's water all over the place. I mean, is that negligence? Is that stupidity? You know, there's a question there. But for example, let's say that your declarations require that you replace the water heater when it's 10 years old. And that water heater burst and it's 12 years old. Well, your declarations require that you replace it at 10 years. In that case, there's clear negligence. And each affected party can go after the at-fault party. So to answer one question you posed too, can we as the association mandate homeowners insurance? I have communities that put it in their rules and regulations, some start out there, and then I do have some communities that will put in their declarations. Much like they might put in their declarations, you must replace your water heater when it's 10 years old, or you must have home watch, check your unit twice a week when you're gone for more than a weekend, or you must shut the water off when you're gone for more than a weekend. So there are instruments the association can use in its declarations to provide some teeth for the association and affected unit owners to have the ability to go after the quote-unquote at-fault party. So it can happen. Now, monitoring it might be a challenge. You put in the declaration, some people are still going to say, you know what I mean, how do you monitor it? It's kind of an administrative nightmare because if you've got 200 plus units and the insurance anniversary date for each unit owner comes up at a different time of the year, it's quite a bit of a struggle to monitor. So, you know, if you're going to mandate something but not enforce it, then why mandate? You know what I mean? From a homeowner's insurance perspective, is my perspective.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, if it's in the bylaws, you can mandate it, but you also have to, you know, make sure you follow. I have associations that do mandate it, and at a certain time of year, they require everybody to send in a copy of their policy showing evidence that they have coverage.
There you go.
But that's specific to each association what they decide to do.
I brought this question up last week. Do we check? Do we know? And I don't think to this point that we know, but it seems to me like we could put it on the website and require people to record the policy number and the name of the insurance company. And that should be a pretty easy way for 90% of people to do so. Now, you can have a problem with people getting the policy number, and canceling it 2 days later. All that just means that they're going to be liable. But you know, your question, what do you do from there? Yes, it becomes a legal matter, and you're going to probably land up having to go to small claims court or to something else in order to collect those kind of cases, which is no fun.
Or your insurance company can choose to subrogate against the other party to try to recover the losses if they feel that other party is negligent.
Well, I think the idea of going ahead and at a certain time of the year, January, just send in your insurance verification. I don't think we do that at this point, do we?
I don't think we do, but we will be shortly. It is, I have put that on Matt's agenda.
So,
Doug?
Sorry, Doug Ship here. Yeah, Doug Ship, Insurance Assured Partners. I represent the association, not from a legal perspective, from an insurance perspective. I would check with counsel on that. Like I said, if it's in the declarations or covenants or bylaws, then it's something I think you can request from a unit owner. But if it's not required, then, you know what I mean, you'll have unit owners that, I mean, what do they have to abide by if it's just a request? You can try it, but I'm not sure what your compliance might be. If it's in the declarations, then it's mandatory.
It is in the declarations at the present time.
My recommendation on this,
It is, okay, then
Yeah.
everybody carry homeowners insurance?
Yes,
yeah,
Yep.
and renters are supposed to carry renters
absolutely,
insurance.
absolutely.
Both of those things are in the declaration.
I just want to suggest,
Okay, yeah, then I would again check with counsel.
yes, I'm sorry.
so, yeah,
I would
Doug,
check
hold on.
with counsel and confirm if that's possible. Yeah.
Since it's in the rules and regulations and our bylaws, I think it's important that we, not just on the computer, get a memo out to everybody. At certain times, we used to always collect the declaration page of each insurance holder. And it was a requirement where I came from, that I must have it. And it's our regulations as well, so I think it needs to be organized in that sort of way. Thank you for
But
bringing
you
that.
need to prove it,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
send it in every year.
Yeah.
So-
the best way be to do it on the website?
I would do both.
Yeah.
So, I have very much success with this exact issue. My, last association had this in their governing documents, and it was a requirement, and on an annual basis, we would do that. We're gonna implement that with the board, immediately, so we will be sending out something to the homeowners to that effect. And we'll make that in the minutes as well,
What
because
about-
it's already in your documents.
What about the age of the water heaters and the air conditioner?
So the question was the age of the air conditioner and the water heater. Let me look into that. I didn't see that specifically, but I know there was a mention in there. But, do you know that question, Doug, by chance?
You know what, I don't, but what I'll do, Matt, is I'll send you, a few years back, we did an analysis of the nuisance claims that were affecting, owners and the association, and tied down about 6 different items. Home watch, HVAC service agreements, water heater replacement, washer, hose line connection replacement. I got about 6 things. I'll send you that list. We call it risk management techniques. Some communities we have put them in the rules and regulations, which are a suggestion. Some put them in the covenants, which are a mandate. So I'll send that to you, Matt. And it's something that over time, if we do amendments, et cetera, that we might want to incorporate some or all of them at some point in time.
Perfect, thank you.
Now, to take that a step further, there are systems which are available. Maybe you've seen one, Florida Power and Light has one. And their cost right now is about $20 a month. And they put an automatic shut-off switch into your water system for each unit. They supply you with sensors, which you can place in the areas where more than likely you're gonna have a water leak. If water is detected by the system, it automatically shuts off the water supply to that unit and also sends warnings out by email. After the last 6 months of having just 2 of these, I'm of the opinion right now, and we're in the stage where this needs to also be sent out in an email for replies. The association has the ability to mandate that every unit gets one put in. I'm not sure if Florida Power and Light will change the $20 to something less. I don't know about that. But we've had enough grief over these situations that if this would eliminate, you say 90% of our problems. And all of our facilities are getting older every day. And we're gonna have more of this and probably not less. I think it is worth considering just not having the problems that go along with this. Melissa has spoken to this to me. I'd like her to make a few comments on what your experience with other situations and other associations.
Sure, no, absolutely. Thank you, guys. Can everyone hear me okay? Well, thank you. So what he's referencing is something called a leak detection system, LDS. A lot of properties, when you start to see habits of leaks occurring in various areas, it's an indicator that you will unfortunately start to see others. What he's alluding to is something, a flow-by mowing system, or some of you may have heard water cup. There's multiple systems, but ultimately it's a system that's designed to stop something at the source. There's many options, there's various costs, but that's what we're discussing right now, is seeing the frequency of leaks that you're having and just discussing what the solutions might be. Not everyone is in-house all the time, everyone is traveling, and we're trying to mitigate the damage as well. Of course, we want to identify it as quickly as possible, but without those types of systems in place, it can be challenging and it can create more damage. So we'll have to take a look at cost-benefit analysis. So what is the investment in it? What's your recurring costs associated? And what does that look like based on the issues that you've been experiencing in a reasonably short period of time? So we'll continue to work with the board on what those options are and share it with the community. And certainly, you all have a great network as well. I'm sure everyone has friends, family, and other communities too. It's happening across the board, whether you're in a high rise or lower rises, it's a system that's commonly used. So we're going to continue to work with the board on that as well to get you options. And if you want to pass on ideas that have worked well in other communities, you're more than welcome to pass it on to Matt, and we'll keep working from there.
Doug, would we get an insurance discount if we had a system like that? On an individual basis, and would the association get a discount, and for homeowners, would they get a discount?
I'll let, Dawn, can you speak to the homeowner insurance? Dawn?
Okay, on the unit owner side, there are a few select companies that have started offering a discount for this system. It's not significant, not a significant discount on average, it's about 2 to 5% right now. And like I said, there's maybe 3 to 4 companies that offer this for the personal insurance side. More companies offer it for single family homes than condo units, but it is available, but it's not really going to make up for the cost, but it's more for peace of mind, you know, in case you have a leak. But from an insurance perspective, yes, there may be a discount depending on your carrier, but it's not something that's significant, so. On the association side, I'll let Doug answer that.
Well, first I'll comment and, you know, maybe to clarify a bit why maybe most condo unit owner insurance companies don't offer, because if, let's say if Joe puts the system in his unit, but the units above him and adjoining to him don't, well, Joe's unit can still be affected by the water from the sides of the top end. So that's why some condo unit insurance companies might be reluctant to give a credit, because typically the water comes from above down, and if they don't have the system, they're not going to be able. Their system is, it's not going to stop the water. From an association perspective, go ahead.
What if everyone had?
Yeah.
What if everyone in all the buildings had it, either mandated or?
That mandate.
I think what Don's getting at is some insurance companies do, from a condo unit owner perspective, provide a credit, and some don't. I think what's happening here, as Melissa mentioned, this is gaining a lot more traction. I'm seeing associations of mine, especially older buildings, primarily that have had significant water damage claims, and they recognize that the pipes are getting older and things are settling. Mid-rise and high-rise, when you get into a 1 or 2 story, you know, you don't have as much impact as if you might end up being a 5-story and it comes down 5 stories. The water comes down 5 stories. So we are starting to see more and more communities contemplate and or install in unit owner and common areas. So I emphasize common areas too. From an association perspective, right now, carriers don't have filed credits for a, say, water comp system or whatever you might want to call it. Now, I have been successful with some communities and their insurers where the community had a repetitive water damage problem, meaning multiple leaks, multiple water damage claims, such that the insurance company had increased their deductible for water damage claims and also increased their premium. Now, once the community installed a water comp or something similar, we were able to negotiate back down the premium and also the deductible as a result of an installation of a water comp type system. I mean, one thing to keep in perspective too, if our association property insurance is say $300,000 a year, about 90% of that is for hurricane. 10% is for all other perils, lightning, water damage, vandalism, things of that nature. So the significant premium is on the hurricane portion of the policy. And much less significant premium is on the all other perils, we call it. But it does give us another tool to go out and negotiate on behalf of an association. I say especially if they've had water damage claims. If you've not had water damage claims, then you're getting the best possible program already.
No, can I add to that too, Doug? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, while we're on water leaks, last year we had a situation where someone flushed their toilet and then they went out to dinner. And the toilet overflowed and went down into a storage room and damaged residents, whatever he had in the storage room. Now, the association would in no way be involved in that, would they, if there's no common area damage? But the person with the So and Drew just called me on the weekends, I was present at the time, and wanted the association to do something, come in and take care of his damage, and which we did, haul it out and dry it. But he thought that somebody other than him ought to be responsible for the damage, and I think I'm correct. Florida law is different than Kentucky. If one neighbor has a water leak and damages the neighbor below, but doesn't do any damage to the association, I understand that Florida law requires the victim to have to pay for his own damage. Is that not correct?
That's what I said, it's called no fault. Florida says each
Right,
party takes
right.
care of their own damage, correct?
And if he doesn't have the if he doesn't have the insurance, that's his tough luck.
Right.
Okay.
Now, what you mentioned, I mean, we as an association, we see this happen quite often, where, the toilet backs up and the unit owner insurance company pays them, and they may allege that the association did maintain the sewer line, and that's why it backed up, and they might come after us, the association. We have insurance for that. It's called subrogation. It happens quite often down here, where unit owner insurance companies allege that the association was somehow negligent. We have insurance for that ourselves, but you're right, Joe. I mean, the statute says each party takes care of its own damage unless one party can prove negligence against the other party. That's Florida law.
Thank you, Doug.
What I was gonna say, Melissa, one more comment.
Yes, go ahead.
One more comment is, I mean, I'm a big believer in preventative, I guess just like preventative medicine. If you can do something to prevent it from happening, because we all know when the water leaks, it becomes an aggravation for multiple parties. Below, adjoining, the common area, etc. And if something can be done that's reasonable, then I'm an advocate for that. I mean, to avoid the occurrence, especially when we're in an environment where many people are seasonal and they're not around.
No, that's a great point too, and you're touching upon just the last points in the interest of time. This is so important to everyone involved, the board in particular, because everyone is highly sensitive to this and the damage it creates. I just want to reiterate too, to Doug's point, researching your protective mechanisms is mutually beneficial, because whenever we have insurance costs that rise through multiple claims, it impacts everyone as a community. It's not just the owner that's experiencing the leak or the immediate surrounding area. It ultimately is a responsibility of everyone. So that's what your board is researching, and really why we want to bring this to focus on what are your options and how can we move forward with it.
Could possibly the person that does the shut-off inspection also have the expertise to do a minor plumbing inspection at the same time in the unit that he's in?
You're talking about something different. We are concerned that because of the length of time that some of these ball valves, which are the main shutoffs to each unit, have been in and have not been rotated, that they corrode after a while, and it becomes either very difficult or impossible to turn the ball valve that shuts off the individual unit's water supply. So what we're intending to do over the next couple of weeks is to actually have our maintenance department enter each unit and check to be sure that the ball valve, which operates the shutoff to each unit, is operable. And we are concerned about that, because if we have a problem in a unit that we can't shut the water off, we're gonna have a major problem before we figure out what to do about it. Now, on the other issue, right now, I've read about 100 or 150 reviews of the mowing system. There is another system also that is put in locally by a plumbing company out of Naples. But the mowing system gets good reviews for our type of situation where we are inside buildings. There were bad reviews on the mowing system when the shutoff valve was put in the water system outside in front of the house. That's not an environment that gets freezing, it gets all kinds of other problems, and they had complaints on that. but there were very few, if any, complaints I could find where the situation was relative to what our situation is, where we have, where they are inside, and they're also going to be relatively close to the sensor units. I put a mowing system in, I put in the sensors a year ago, and I've tested them and they work, especially for my water heater, because I think that's a major problem. It's been a major problem here before, over the last 5 years, and that was one of my concerns. What I'm thinking right now, and this is probably will be eventually my recommendation to the board, is that we make it mandatory, that we take the system with Florida Power and Light, and that we add it on a monthly basis just to the monthly cost that each of us will end up paying for maintenance. And then it just becomes part of that cost. Otherwise, I think it will work much better with Florida Power and Light, that they don't have to collect it from 292 people. And I think then, if we do it in that manner, I think maybe we can get the cost from Florida Power and Light less than the $19.95 a month. And that we can move forward in that manner. Because I think we really need to consider doing something. So we will send out an email for input to that to all of the members also, and we'll see where this goes. I don't know how soon this would be able to be installed. You know, if they're installing 292 units, that would be up to them. That shut-off switch is about $500 alone. So if you want to buy one yourself, we're going to spend around $700 to $800 per unit. That's why I think that the $20 a month is probably a better way to go. Okay, Matt, sorry I took over.
No, it's, I think it's important, well, I know it's important, that we, if it's okay with the board, that we get a survey out to the point of the water, system.
Yes.
And also maybe even the pool hours.
Yes.
It doesn't need to go out to vote because it's not a vote item, but
Yeah.
I think it's beneficial for the homeowners to have to say, and if it's a majority that says, hey, we want it, then you implement it, and if not, then you don't. But at least you give the homeowners the chance to,
Okay, go ahead.
Matt, could you check with Florida Power and Light and see if there'd be a discount if we bought them all at once and billed us as an association, individually? As Victor mentioned, we might get less than $19.99.
yes, we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Or a longer length contract than 1 week.
Right.
Yeah,
I got
that
it.
might make the medicine go down a little bit better.
Okay, so in the interest of time, is there anything else for Doug or Don with the shirt?
No, not for me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and giving us.
To both of you, we appreciate the,
Thanks so
it's
much.
not what I wanted to hear, but it's good.
Thanks again, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Doug.
So what I'll do is go over the insurance update, for the claim in building 3. Next week, Phyllis shakes my head, your head yes, the next week? For the Monday. The 12th. So Monday, they're gonna be starting to remodel on the hallways, for building 3 that got damaged by the water, damage. And that was paid out by the insurance, just to let you know.
All right, good.
With that said, that's the update on your insurance claim. The last item I have, is the access control discussion update. So right now we are on a loaner for, I believe it's building 4.
1 and 2.
1 and 2? Okay. That we're currently borrowing in the interest that it works. So we are owed a brand new system because right now, you know, it wasn't working, so we had to borrow one from the manufacturer.
What's this, Matt? What are you talking about?
The device at the gate, that was the panel, it got water damage and it wasn't working, it wasn't allowing the gate to open and close, so we have it on the loaner. So, until the replacement arrives. But just to let you know, we haven't forgot about it, you guys paid for it, so we're not gonna let them get away with just giving you a loaner. It's still up to the association. That's all I have.
One other item, it's been brought up a number of times, from a couple of emails. We get delivery from Prime, from Amazon, or we get delivery from other delivery services. Some packages are getting lost or stolen, I'm not sure what it is, but it's not an ideal system. Matt says he has some experience with this at other locations, so we are looking into that to see if we can find a better way. I would encourage you, when you order something, to put on the order to tell them to deliver it to your door. You don't always do it.
They can't get
But
in.
That's the problem.
They can't get in, they don't have a fob.
You have to give them their code.
Most of them, some of them have a fob.
UPS has
Let me-
one, FedEx has one.
We'll look into it.
We'll look into it. It is part of the problem.
But also, it's laziness because of the fact that once they're told to deliver it to a 95-degree garage, you know, then it's just chaos. And then with the season coming, it's gonna be horrific, cause I have that deliver, use elevator. And I have my code, and it's hit or miss.
All right,
Make sure
well,
you
we're
leave
looking
them
into it,
negative.
it continues to be a problem, we'll see if we can come up with solutions. Prime does have a place here in the, one of the stores that will take delivery, you can go pick it up from them. It's not an ideal situation, I don't know if it's gonna get better until we stop ordering from them.
Ain't gonna happen.
And it ain't gonna happen, that's just part of the problem. So
The
that's all
other
I've
issue
got.
with packages,
Pardon?
I said there's another issue with packages, which is people order things and they don't pick them up.
I
Which
understand
is
that.
why
too.
we have stuff that has been sitting there in the garage in building 2 for a month to 2 months. In some cases, absolutely.
Sometimes you can't get to your mailbox because the boxes are piled up.
So, you know, I think that's gotta be a part of the solution
All right.
to this whole package issue.
And it's not just Prime, I mean, it's UPS.
It's all,
It's all.
I understand. I don't have a solution now. I don't know if we're gonna find the solution. All right? Let's go ahead with open session.
Yeah, that's where we're at,
We're already there.
we're there.
Get in there.
So, let's do this, because I don't know everybody's name, if you can just say your name or unit number, and then I'll record the comment. And if we don't have an answer, we will look into it, but everyone will get a chance and we'll get 3 minutes, just in the interest of time. Go
Okay,
ahead.
Nancy Bryan, and I'm in building 4 on the 3rd floor. And,
Can we hand that microphone?
okay.
Oh, sorry, this one right here, if you have a comment, come.
Nancy here?
I know it's kind of uncomfortable to go up in front of her.
Oh, I thought you said handed to her.
That's fine, I mean, as
Oh,
long as she
is
can
it-
speak
I
into
did.
it.
Oh, is it
Go
a
ahead,
handle thing?
go ahead.
You can just speak into it or
Or
take
should
it
I
off.
turn around?
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
there you go.
Can you hear me?
They can hear you, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to say that
They
they
can't. We can't hear her.
You need to speak up.
It doesn't echo out, it echoes into the here.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
it.
put speakers in the
Yeah.
ceiling.
You might want to turn around facing,
Can you hear me now?
right there.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? No, I only want to bring this up anyway, welcome Matthew. Your last name.
Can't hear you.
I don't know where.
You've heard it before.
Okay, that was a off joke. Anyway, I'm just bringing this up to Matthew again, I know a lot of people have heard it, I live in building 4. Okay, a sign was put up, I don't know who put it up, when I was renting, but now I'm an owner, that said, deliver all packages, post office, FedEx, UPS, and Amazon to the garage. And they put a, the office or garage type racks, you've seen the rack. Okay, there was never any kind of, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, package here, whatever. It was just, now they take a package that could be this small, put it all, as you can see, I'm not that tall. They put it on the top, and they put it on the bottom, or just on the floor. And I spoke to Amazon, and they have it very clear, to bring my packages up. I have the foyer, because I'm on a corner, so I have the foyer room, and it's hit or miss. And it's rudeness, because they see that sign, and they can just dump every package. I mean, it's common sense, people. They're gonna throw every package there. Some people have food, some people have dog food getting delivered, whatever it is. It shouldn't be, it's not fair. I pay for Prime. You know, the association doesn't pay my Prime account. And Amazon agrees that I should get my packages delivered where I ask them to be. So I think that we should respect each other's wishes. You want your things in the garage? You should say you want them in the garage. That, you know, I'm just bringing this up again because I had brought it up with Patrick and nothing ever happened, other than we're looking into it. Okay, and if somebody else, feels opposite than me, you know, then maybe we'll, you know, work it out. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have 3 questions. Can I be ready this?
As long as you can come up just so the people
Sure,
on the phone can
sure.
hear. Thank you.
Testing.
Definitely. You're
Two issues. One, being the most important, is the exterior soffit of building 5.
Yeah.
It's crumbling, it's falling apart. And I have a piece of it in my purse that I found today. I see that it is not only dangerous, it's a liability for everybody, including, being hurt myself walking around that corner. So I would like to know what we're gonna do about that and how quickly we're going to do it. I see the tape, the crime tape.
We just followed up with them today. Jalissa, do you have that?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Kelly Roofing is scheduled to come the 13th to repair that.
It's Tuesday, right?
And so when they come, what will be the outcome of that?
Hopefully to replace that entire, because they came out previously, I can't remember when, to look at damage. They didn't have enough material, so they had to come back. And now they're gonna repair it.
And do we use Kelly Roofing very often? Are they the prime or the?
Only on the soffit beds.
On the
That's
soffit.
the only things
Okay.
they've done.
Okay. And then the next one, not as important, but aesthetically, yes. The hallways, the trim in the hallways, of building 5. I can't say for the other buildings because I'm not a property manager, I don't inspect the others, but building 5 really needs attention. I don't know whether this is part of the budget, when we paint or somebody touched up after I moved in. They not only touched up sloppily, if that's a word, but used the wrong type of paint. So it looks really, really shabby. Yeah, it
What
really
floor
is.
is it?
I'm on the 2nd floor.
Second?
Yes.
We're talking the lobby.
And the lobby.
In the lobby?
The door of the lobby is shit. It just doesn't look like it should.
Got it.
Okay.
That's an easy one.
Last and not least, I listened carefully about the water system. I agree with you. I was a property manager. I know what it's like to have a water heater bust and then the people downstairs be responsible or irresponsible. So I'm very sensitive to that issue. However, I would like for you to take into consideration other considerations other than Florida Power and Light. Reason being, and the insurance almost felt like it was an insurance sales pitch. I have, let me go back. I have a sensor on my water heater, which my upstairs neighbor was kind enough to tell me. He said, put it on there. Now, I'm not a snowbird, so I'm here all the time, and I rely on it. However, I do realize that there are people that are not here 6 months out of the year. And I think, this is my opinion, those that are not here, that are absent, may very well invest in whatever Florida Power has to offer. But I don't think it should be across the board, and I don't think it should be an expense to me.
Who do you think it should be an expense to?
Well, I think it should be, if I want, right now I have a sensor. I don't know how Florida Power is going to install the sensor. Is it hardwired? Is it wireless?
It's wireless.
It is wireless. So how did it get to my shut-off without coming in and making some major adjustments to that shut-off valve?
They will come in and actually, either just before or just after your manual shut off, they will cut that pipe and they will install the electrical shut off.
And who's going to absorb that cost?
That Florida Power and Light pays all of the installation
It
costs.
does, okay.
So we're at 3 minutes, so
Okay,
we will get more information. It's just preliminary, so there's a lot more information we have to
Yeah,
look into.
I think the scope should be widened for the possibilities of other equipment.
Okay.
Understand?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something real quick? Because I'm in building 5 too. Just to add to that, if you don't mind if I just sit here. I've got a really bad back.
Joseph, could you take the microphone? Just so they can hear you on the
Okay,
Zoom.
I'm sorry.
No,
That's
you're
what
fine.
I'm concerned about when you're on Zoom, you
Can
can't.
I make a comment,
Oh, I'm
please?
sorry.
Hold on, Mark, Mr.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can anyone hear me right now?
Yeah.
See,
Could anyone hear me right now?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, Mr.
Good,
Grossman.
we can. I want to also agree with the person who just spoke, that we should go through all the buildings for the maintenance of the hallways. The corridors are all banged up, the baseboards are banged up. I've been discussing this for the past year, and it looks like we're in a low-cost housing project. It can't be left like this. So I agree with what this person just said. Thank you.
And I've lived here now 10 years.
You're on.
You're on.
Oh, I am? Anyway, and building 5 is always pretty much overlooked. I've said that over years before. I was on the landscaping committee. I was on, decorating building 5 and everything. We worked very hard, clubhouse and everything else. I put a lot of time into things, like a lot of other people have. But, I do worry about it's getting banged up. It was never like that. It's a small building. But when I walk around, well, mainly I drive because I have some issues, but I see all the other places, and Richie, of course, looks very nice. Everything's kept up. And some of the other places I've been to visit and stuff, the mulches, no weeds. If you walk inside our garage, going towards the garage, the flowers, the bromeliads have had their turn. I tried to pull some out once, and I used to do this before. People that know me know that I've been, right, Geraldine?
Yeah.
Very active in landscaping. I mean, I have beautiful landscape woman home. It means a lot, and I think it should mean a lot to our property values and everything else. There are weeds this high. It has not been kept. There's rocks all over the place. There's haphazard. Those are they bromeliads, I think? They're not kept up. They're not cut off. They're nothing. I pulled one out, it was completely rotted and stuff. I would be happy to walk through with you or something else, it's just not kept up.
we
And then
are,
when I see
we
that
are
little-
walking with the landscape company, we have a new one.
Okay,
And
good.
I'm walking with him also and Matt at 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Because
We
it
will
is-
especially go to building 5 and we will
Appreciate it.
look at it.
And real quick, I appreciate that so much, but when I think about our lobby, I know it's small, it's hard to maneuver and everything, peeling paint. We decided on all that, how to do it, and it looks so beautiful and everything. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know what's going on. I come here and I'm gonna be a full-time now. And then I see this, what we're talking about, the dental molding and everything. Then I see the landscape, and I'm thinking, what is wrong? Are we the forgotten building all the time?
We
So,
will look into it.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll-
you. I
it-
appreciate
it'll
it.
be-
Thank you.
It'll be very quick.
Thank you.
Real fast, just want to say, Renata, I'm sorry, it's in our building too, I think it's a universal problem, and all buildings talk about
What is
it.
that, landscaping or the?
Both, we have a new landscaper, so we have to give them a chance.
Yes.
But I've been told by Matt that, they're really looking to just cleaning up right now, and then they'll go to the
But
beautification.
nobody has weeds like we do, and if you walk in there, people are all over the
But
place.
also the lobbies are pretty bad in
Big
those
weeds,
buildings.
yeah.
Yeah, we will use maintenance, we have maintenance on site, we'll have them immediately begin those items in conjunction with the carports, but I absolutely agree, it was the first thing I noticed, and I have a plan
I approve bills. And the new landscape company, I just saw a bill today where we had multiple problems with the irrigation systems that were broke down or pipes were broke and things weren't working right. I mean, in Florida, if you don't put water on things, they're gonna die.
Absolutely.
And I think we are getting on top of that, and we will look at, what needs to be done to interior.
Yes,
Okay.
we had irrigation problems ever since I've lived here for 10 years, so.
Well, irrigation,
I mean, it's on, it's off.
I can tell you personally, I worked all last weekend on an irrigation problem. They ain't gonna go away. It's something we just need to keep on. All right, next.
Hi, I'm Barbara Rosa, and I'm in Building 8, which doesn't get a lot of attention either. And I want to point out that there has been water damage on the second floor, and there is no molding along the floor in part of the hallway. It's been like that for over 7 months.
What floor?
Second floor.
Second.
Second floor. And then the other thing that I think it's not a big priority, you know, there's things that are bigger priorities, but I happen to be out on my lanai. It's been so hot you don't even go out, and I looked over and the ledge that is on the other side of the railing is black paint, but it is all peeling, it's chipping, it's falling down, it's a mess. It looks awful. So it's a general comment that things have gotten shabby. They've really got, I've been here 6 years, and it needs a lot of attention.
One thing that can help us a lot, and if you tell other people when they complain, especially about maintenance items, is if you go on the website, there is a report function for things that need to be done. And if you report them on there, they get reported as to the time and the date that they're reported. And maintenance, when it does get taken care of, also takes it off, and it's recorded when it's taken care of. Now, they can't get away from that system unless they replace it, they fix it, and then take it off.
But it's
the
been
maintenance
so many
report.
months, I don't think anybody even realizes that there's still no
I
baseboard. No
don't
baseboard.
disagree with you,
Yeah.
but if new items or you see something, that is a system that we have not utilized properly.
I can't agree with that.
You need to,
Can't hear.
Can't hear? Well, the system is worthless.
You know, but Victor, it's a matter of management walking the property, which they've never done before. I'm not talking about the present people, but they've never walked the property before. This has been going on for years. They should walk the property. If the homeowner sees something, it's great, you walk in to speak to Matt. It's not our job to do that, though. Management should be
No,
walking
I
the
agree.
property with the sub-residents at least once a month and go through the buildings and go through whatever.
They're not
it's not
working.
working at all.
So,
Matt has agreed he will walk all of the property at least once a week. If I'm here and I'm still president, I will walk it with you.
That's it.
And we will see if we can't make some improvement.
but yeah.
But I can say that all the eyes that each of you have can be helpful.
Agreed.
Just, if it is not the way it should be, put it on the maintenance report and report it.
Well, we're having microphone issues.
Amongst other things.
Our $60 system is not
So
working.
Rob is saying that he can, Rob Arendt on the line is saying that he can hear, but it's faint. So I
Faint.
So maybe my Zoom wasn't.
Can you hear me?
No, it's not working.
Somebody has a question.
Do you want to use this?
This
Try that.
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
there any other,
I-
any other statements?
Yes, if I can, please.
Sir,
I have 3 quick things. On the water heater, the water sensors, the discount to your insurance, we just put in a new water heater and sensors, the discount's $5 a year.
yeah, don't mind.
Yeah, they said they didn't know what it was, I just priced it 2 days ago. And then, same as the monitor alarm system is only $5 a year. And, our documents all say that we have an ARC, an architectural review committee, but we don't have one, and I would like to have that up.
Good,
Right?
because that is a committee that we, by our documents, need to have, and we
Yes.
haven't had one, and we
Yeah.
should.
Yes, and I am a designer by trade, I don't work anymore, but I would love to do that.
So if you have any interest and you're good at looking at plans and have a good eye for this type of thing, please feel free to let Jalissa or I know. We do need people on the committee. Also, there's another committee, but this one most important.
Was there one? Was there one?
Yeah,
Yes.
way back.
Yes.
We used to have a committee too for landscape, and it was very active and it did a good job. If we can find,
Honestly, we're not.
So much work.
I just turned 75, please.
now you're just young, that's really young. The Queen was 96.
Jim,
All right.
Jim on building 3. What's the procedure when you send in a work order? Who gets those? Where do they go?
It's not working.
Just speaking to, you're not gonna hear yourself, but
A work order. Where do they go when they're written and sent out by a owner?
so when you fill out a work order through the website, it goes to our internal system, which goes to us, Jalissa and I, and we assign it immediately to the vendor. Whether that be internal or whether that be external.
What do you mean to the vendor?
Well, we have, like, there might be a pool vendor that it has to go to, or it might be a maintenance vendor, or maintenance staff. So, just,
Okay, for a maintenance item, who gets that? Jorge?
everything goes to us first, and then we assign it.
Who's us?
To Jalissa and myself.
Okay, so, and when does Jorge get it?
If it's for him, he'll get it right after we review it and assign it.
Okay, now, I know for a fact that a lot of those get closed out without the project being done. So, that's happened
That's an
quite a
issue.
bit.
That's an issue, and I believe you do, Melissa, do they get notified when it's closed as well?
Yes.
So if you have,
Melissa, you're notified?
I am not personally notified of
No.
the property,
This-
so when it's closed out, the team is notified, yes. The on-site resident.
Okay, who checks and see if it's been done? Because a lot of these aren't being done.
No, so the system sorry, I wanna make sure everyone can hear me.
I don't know, you can try.
I'll
I need a new one.
try to speak as loudly as I can.
Is this still under warranty, the system?
So the system
only-
in
it's
general,
only
the
being
way
used, it
that
has
it's
to be.
designed as well is that you'll get a completion, we can pull reports in. We can pull reports periodically as well to see what's outstanding, how long something has been outstanding, whether it's in process, incomplete. We're able to do that and schedule running of those reports too, to see what's complete and what is outstanding for you. That, we can do that at any point too, but there are internal controls that we pull those on a regular basis to see what's outstanding.
Melissa, does that information include who's closing it out? Because if there's potentially a problem, you may wanna look and see if there's a pattern of one or more people doing a lot of this.
There is a pattern.
Okay. Just a
We'll
suggestion.
be definitely investing into a new microphone system after this.
And just news, you better keep them out.
And we will be following up on the maintenance as to what's been, I will try to follow up on some of them myself.
So to answer your question, if you have any maintenance items, please come see me, call me.
There's a shortage.
Is that a Wi-Fi microphone? I think they're conflicting with that. I think that,
It is. Not communicating.
yeah.
Patrick assured me the problem was us.
That's,
And I think he felt it was and that he had
And you
solved
believed
it
him?
cheaply. But
Very cheap.
we just got cheap. We will solve this.
But if you,
hopefully by the next meeting.
if you get a notification as a resident that it was completed,
My whole system wasn't working.
and it's not, please let us know. Please let Jalissa and I know. Just call the office or send an email.
Okay. So the other item I have, and I've noticed this year probably more than years past, but is the prevalence of vehicles being plugged in by seasonal vehicles, plugged into the association plugins. Now That's not correct. They're supposed to have their own, terminal installed on the meter, is that correct?
From the understanding that I was given from Patrick, that there was some homeowners that were using, just maintenance, like charters.
Trickle
But, yeah,
Trickle.
but, no,
But it's
no
all
one's-
season.
Yeah, no one should be tied into the power.
You need to check and see.
And I
Why
was,
didn't wait till season? You haven't seen season
I
yet,
haven't.
have you?
Exactly.
Oh, you're in for a
They
treat.
are.
it's been 2 weeks from me being here, so.
Good, enjoy the calm.
But, to answer your question, I know you probably have more stuff, but I'm more than happy to stay after the meeting to answer your direct questions.
All right, can I just read you the paragraph that's in R&R's regards
If you
to
can
plugging
quickly,
in?
yes.
All right, vehicles requiring electrical charging must have properly installed electrical connections and prior written approval of the management office. The installation of such charging stations shall be at the owner's expense and must be installed by a licensed electrical contractor. A separate electrical meter shall also be installed for the charging station and maintained at the owner's expense. All power used by the charging device will be billed to the owner.
You see that?
That was in relation to electric cars.
No, it's not. This is seasonal people that have it plugged in for 6 months.
Oh, well, we had this problem, 6 months ago, and we had a number of those outlets. And Patrick, I know that we took some of them, we either disconnected the power to them, or we put locking devices on the outlet so people couldn't use it. And, we'll have to continue to do more of that. If we find people that are charging, in a way that they shouldn't be, it will be corrected.
All right.
You might wanna check.
It's more prevalent this.
You might want to check building too.
Go check all.
Buildings too?
Nope, just need my.
Okay.
You're next.
Okay,
Go for it, girl.
alright, we have a few more,
Oh, you go ahead.
anyone that has not gone yet.
When he's talking about irrigation, right behind this building here, there's a flow of water that's sitting there. Every morning when I walk my dog, there's some puddle between building, right behind this, building here is where it comes out and the water just saturates.
There's a cable box
That cable box has been never used, and it's never closed properly, and you can see as the wires or water fills up, whatever. But it's something that really should be looked into.
We will.
I've gone already, but.
You've gone, so I just wanna make
Anybody
sure
else?
Anybody else that hasn't talked?
I have a quick
Yes.
question. When are the housekeeping staff going to be rotated?
Yes.
Okay, so that's something that I would like to see on a survey, I don't know if the board feels that way. Since I've been here 2 weeks, management has gotten conflicting, both for and against, and I think maybe that's something that the survey can kind of.
I think the way to address it now is that it's something we'll discuss internally and then absolutely circulate.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd be against.
okay, so you we'll
Sure,
take
all the
that
ones
under
that have
advisement.
good ones wanna keep theirs.
Of course.
Now, okay, so what do we do with the ones that aren't doing their
Get new
job?
ones,
Exactly.
get them out,
Don't tell
but
me.
don't take mine,
Let them know.
right?
I don't know about the other stuff.
It has been noted,
We,
and, we need to follow up with inspections, we need to document the problem. And then we'll
And
be in a
then-
better position to be able to legally do something without the association getting sued for it. Okay? Anyone else that has, Jim, you
No,
have?
Sam?
No, I just want to make a suggestion.
Right.
On this thing with the mail. I mean, one of the things when I was on the board, we never followed through because we couldn't at the time, but where building 8 is, there's that little alcove there with chairs. I don't really know if anybody ever uses that.
I have inquired about that.
Because if we could do some kind of a build out, which we thought about doing, aesthetically nice, and have all the carriers put the packages there and then the residents can go there.
I have officially asked them all, and I've been officially declined from us being able to do anything with them. Cause I thought that would be a good solution.
Even though that's our building? We have to get their approval.
It's the first floor.
I think if everybody come to the same microphone, get it working.
But it's in the back, right?
No, it's not.
There's one-
We already talked about that.
So, okay, if you've already spoken, please see me after the meeting, I'm more than happy to answer any
These
questions.
are pertinent questions.
I know, it's just, we just have.
Listen, the post office is gonna do what they're gonna do. We have no control over the post office. But we do have control of FedEx, UPS guy, he's wonderful, he knows. He sees it, he goes, I know, you get your packages to the door. I mean, he's wonderful. So, I mean, we can't do anything about the post office.
Yeah.
If anybody that has not gone, that has a comment, just so we have interest of time.
In our building, the UPS, the postal mailbox
Mhm.
is not locked. So anybody could open it up and take anybody's mail, which is a federal offense.
This is the one we know of.
Yes.
The post
And
office is,
it's been like that for like 2 months.
the post, we just spoke to the post office yesterday about it, and we're getting a runaround. The best thing to do, because we cannot touch their property, you know, it's the postal, carrier, is the more people that say something to them, the more likely it is to get done.
But I don't know if it's I think it might be our responsibility to change the lock to that.
Definitely not the law. I wish it was, it would be done. But
I spoke to the carrier that was delivering the mail, and he said they were working on it, but that doesn't mean that they.
we just spoke to him yesterday again about it. Hold on, the best person, you're absolutely correct, the
Or
postmaster.
the district manager.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, but,
Who's gonna do that? Your office will do that? Not really.
You should go.
the more people that say
Should
something,
go to the post office?
the more people that call and say something, the more will get done. Our own line.
Okay.
Oh, were they?
Yeah, I mean, I'll follow you.
If you can, that'd be great.
I think the trouble you have so many new people, this is a training site, the shopping center and us, you'll see about 6 months from now, you have somebody else new, that becomes an issue here as well.
Yeah.
But I've talked to the post office about that issue, because it was unlocked in my building too.
We'll
I
send
said,
them a video of the thing
We
opened
should,
up.
yeah.
and
I
anybody
called
help
the
themselves.
manager, yeah.
Right.
Anybody else? Because, oh, yes, sir.
Just regarding the shut-off valves and the sensors, what happens if that system fails? Who's liable for that?
Good question.
So for example, like I have a camera that monitors humidity, I have a thermostat, all these things, and then once in a while I get a notification that there's no connection. Because they're wireless, they go off all the time. So on the off chance that there's a water failure, while there's an internet loss, are they gonna then come and say, oh, well, your internet wasn't connected, that's your problem, or how does that work?
It's marketing.
Ask a question, man.
I don't know. This one is an inspection.
It's like those car insurance things, they put this thing in your car where they can monitor your car speed and all, and it's like, oh, you were going one mile over the limit in this area, we're not gonna cover you, and all this stuff, and I have lots of places where I have thermostats and all kinds of stuff, they're always out, and it's just like, we have to find out how that, the liability is transferred for a failure, or if they take responsibility for that. Even if you have like a house, like I have a sub pump in one house, and the floor is cement, so the signal doesn't always go to where the router is, and it disconnects like every hour, so I don't know how it's going here, but find that out, please.
I don't know.
That's a good question.
Okay, can you, like, microphones don't work, I know it's not Wi-Fi, it's probably Bluetooth, but signaling, there's interference, people turn on the microwave, and they have like an antenna somewhere, and then it never works, so.
Sometimes you have to
Those
spend
are
money
good
to make
questions.
it work,
Thank
not
you.
cheap out. That might be one of the, some of this, maybe.
Could I ask something real quick, how often are roofs inspect?
Well, those are annual roof inspections done, but I feel like,
We have a set schedule. We have the same
Yeah.
dates for the.
Cause I'm surprised that all that dental mold and everything was never discovered until it all started falling and stuff, it's got to ask that.
well,
I think it was designed to
yeah, it definitely does pass the building, the, builder's defect claim, even though that's what I think it is, but it's past that, so we're just gonna have to look into that and make sure all the buildings are done, not just building five.
Yeah, because Kelly Roofing just took the scaffolding down 6 months ago from building 5.
Yeah, I know they did. But aren't the buildings inspected once a year or something, the roof, to make sure everything's working Yeah, that happened out there, and they said,
I don't know, I think that was getting, damaged. They say it wasn't water, and I can't believe what it was if it wasn't water. So, I mean,
So I'm gonna be
I don't
here
have
after
any-
the meeting to answer any questions you have, and if I don't know, I'll look into it, but,
you just follow.
with that being said,
What?
we're ready to adjourn.
Yeah, ready to adjourn, is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
A second. All those in favor say aye. Aye, meeting adjourned, and thank you for coming, and thank you for your input.
Yeah.